Have you ever been in a quiet place? Have you ever had a moment to where you could just feel the heartbeat of God? You're just in a place where it's just calm and tranquility, and you just feel God's presence. It seems like we are birthing, if you will, a body of believers who are so accustomed to noise, to loudness. Everything you see around us is echoing a sound uh, that drowns out your thoughts, that, that drowns out your emotions. I mean, to a point you can feel yourself being exhausted by the noise around you. No one's quiet. It's just almost impossible to find a quiet place anywhere around you, no matter where you are. I mean, in church, out of church, at home, at the library, you name it. It's like we just have a society. We have a culture that's beating by a different heartbeat. It's a faster pace, if you will. It's a cadence that we're not really used to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like praise, which is a faster pace. It's more upbeat. But I love worship, and I'm finding during this season, I'm finding the body of Christ being on this tempo, this upbeat tempo, this pulse that's just raging and raging. I mean, to the point every service always builds up to this crescendo of this noise, of this echo, where everybody leaves the building not hostile, but just enraged in some sense with this type of feeling that we all have to be hard, and because we just left this service, or we just left this convention, or we just left the house. We just left work, and we're going out here in these automobiles, and we're all on the same impulse. We're all on the same cadence of just rage, of just fury. I mean, everything is enlightened, or everything is heightened, if you will. And to me, that's where the body is. The body of Christ is right now. That's where we are as a people. That's where we are as mankind. Everything is echoing. You say one thing, and it's just like a ripple. It just takes off, and it has a life of its own once it leaves your mouth. Once it leaves your thoughts, it just springboards into an atmosphere of more noise, of more loudness, and so everything is just streaming with loudness. There's nothing that's breathing, that's teaching, that's really uh, echoing, if you will, peace. That's where we are right now. I was thinking about a friend of mine who came over to visit me when I was young at my father's house. And he once made the statement that when my father walks into a house, you could hear a pin drop on the carpet because the house got so quiet. It's like before my father came in the house, which it was 12 of us, 12 siblings, and my mother. So we've got 13 in the house at one time until my father gets home, which makes 14 of us in one house. Think about this for a moment. The friend of mine was just sharing with me that he was there one day, and he just witnessed how we were all just, doing our thing. I mean, the house is on a 10 when it comes to noise. It's on a 10, a level 10. And he noticed that when my father walked in the house dropped to a 2 or to a 0. He said, Donnie, it was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop on the carpet. That's the type of respect we have for my father. that he had just gotten off work, more than likely. And my mother had us to where we knew that when he stepped in the house, that we gave him space to unwind. I was listening to the house, if you will, to the heartbeat of the house as I've gotten older. And I noticed that here in Texas, the ground shifts every season. And so the house itself speaks to you, no matter how quiet it is. No one's at home but just you. The house makes noises because it's shifting because of the environment that it's built in and the ground that it's built upon here in Texas. And so I noticed that when I get ready to worship God, I get ready to spend some time with God, I will not just stay in the living room or in another bedroom where I'm away from my family, because normally in the morning it's real quiet and no one's up but me. And so I'm able to really lay before the Lord. But I was taking a step further. I go into my prayer closet. Not that I need to, because the house is quiet. It's because I have a desire to. It's something that I've built between me and God. To get into my closet now, I'm 6'4", and so I'm really all balled up in this small closet. But it's my place of tranquility. It's my place where I have time with God and God has time with me. And I've anointed this closet because I wanted this quiet place for just me and God. And so I'm in this place in my closet, and it's quiet and it's peaceful. And I can hear God's heartbeat, if you will. I know He can hear mine because He created it, but I just feel like I'm closer to Him. It's like I'm in my mother's womb again, and I'm just, all cocooned in by the placenta and everything else around. It's just me and God. It's like I'm a butterfly, inside of a caterpillar, and I'm just harvesting inside. And I just feel this comfort, this peace that surpasses all understanding. But when my father comes home, it's as if we worship him in some sense. That when he comes home, this is his kingdom, if you will. This is his castle. And my mother she has a table set so nice to where her volume becomes so low, and we emulate her volume. And so it's set up by my parents. My mother know what my father needs when he gets home. And I don't know. I don't know if we have it like that anymore because we don't believe in really listening to anyone's heartbeat but our own. I watched one day when I was coming through the house. I just come from work and my wife is in the kitchen. She's cooking and she's on the phone and she's talking and she's having a good time. She's just having a great time. And I walk through the house and the TV is on. It's on like a 10. It's up high. And I walk by my daughter's bedroom and they're on the phone and on their social media devices, whatever, doing their thing. And it's loud and they just wave, "Hey, Dad." And I look in my son's room and he's on his PlayStation 5 or Wii or whatever he's doing and he's having fun. You hear the race car, zoom, zoom, just all this noise. And I just kind of crawl off into my bedroom and just kind of prepare to take off my shoes, to just unwind, if you will. But the house is on a 10. It's like, what happened to my father's days, where the whole house just calmed down before he walked in. My house is on a 10. And I'm walking through this 10. I just came from work, it was on a 20. I just came out of traffic and it was on a 30. And now I'm at home and my house is at a 10. So there is some, I guess, leveling off, if you will. As I go into my bedroom, it's like the house is taking on the personality of everybody in it. And so my bedroom is still breathing hard. It's ready to bust. It wants me to turn the TV on. It wants me to join in. And so I'm just unwinding though. I'm trying to find my place of just leveling down to a 2 if I can. I need to breathe. When my father came home, it was a form of worshiping him in some sense. It was a form of recognizing that as a man, with all the responsibility that God has put and placed on our shoulders, it was a form of my mother respecting that he needed his space. I mean, when my father came home, we had already ran his bath water. And back then, we didn't even eat until my father ate first. I know that's old school. That's tradition. You guys don't know nothing about that. After a while, as we got older, my mother would always fix my father a plate and put it in the oven because he requested that. He says, no, go ahead and feed the kids, but put my plate in the oven and I'll get it, because sometimes he worked some long hours and he didn't want us waiting up for him. But just to see the pace that he set, it reminded me of just worshiping God. My mother, the place that she set, our house, the way she had it to where we could enjoy ourselves. We could be turning cartwheels. We could be shouting and running through the house. And she was okay with that. Her character, her personality handled all that. And I remember being quiet around my mom. It just was moving and moving. And so I'm just so appreciative of her when I think back on how she allowed us to unwind, because we need to unwind. 12 kids in the house, we need to unwind. But then I'm so proud of her that she had just really just molded us, if you will, mentored us to understand that when your father comes home, we're going to give him some space. Not just when he goes to his room. No, 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 no. When he opens that door, it's like when he put the key in that door, when he turned the doorknob, the whole house metamorphosed into a place of just harmony. I mean, it's like we were all sitting there reading books, or we were all sitting there, being like monks in a monastery. Ma, 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 ma. I mean, just like we were all on one cadence. We were just quiet. My father walked through, and he did this thing that he always did, like a security guard, like he's a CIA. He's checking to see if I've taken the trash out. He just kind of looks. He doesn't go all the way in the kitchen. He just looks. You can see it from when he opens the door. And he just walks through. He just looks, because the place has to be immaculate. With 12 children, we had the cleanest house you could ever find on the block, in the whole city, I can guarantee you. On point. We could play and we could dust up, but every room had to be clean. That's the kind of man my father was. And we understood what our responsibility was. And so to not have the trash taken out, to not have the house looking a wreck, it would mess with his peace. And my mother wasn't down for that. So she made sure that we all had things taken care of. So when he walked in, he could walk into his castle, knowing that he's still the king, that there's still loyal, if you will, subjects obeying him. I mean, acquiescing to him and to his desires and to his needs. And really, it taught me so much of how to be clean. As a man, oh my gosh, it taught me how to be clean. My body clean, my house clean, my car clean. I mean, it really blessed my spirit to understand that if you keep it clean, it's always clean. And so our house was always clean. And I think my father was teaching us that he didn't want his children to have a mind, if you will, that was so disorganized, because that's where things really happen. It's when you see a place all junky and trash, that means that's part of who you are, that your thoughts are junky and trash. And my father wasn't going for that. I told you, with 12 children, yeah, he needed some structure. And so he brought structure. But he brought peace. And here I am in my prayer closet. And I'm praying, and I'm just laying before God. And I feel so good when I do this. I mean, it just sets my day up for success, because it's a quiet place. I mean, look around you. What's quiet about you? I mean, what's quiet around you? Who's reverencing you and respecting you enough to allow your house to breathe a moment of quietness? It reminds me of Jesus when he speaks to the elements and he tells peace. He says, peace be still. We're looking at the water and the waves, and we're saying, "Boy, Jesus is he's telling that stuff to settle down." Well, not really. Jesus gives his word. He gives his word permission. He tells peace. Jesus said that's too lightweight for me. So he tells his word. He says, "Peace, be still." He said, "Peace, go get him." What he's telling peace to do, he said, "Peace, go and speak to the noise." You see, he didn't say noise be still. He didn't say shouting be still or loudness be still. He said peace. Jesus called it what he wanted to call it. He said, "Peace, be still." And so peace went and rest the noise, the wind, the waves. I'm saying, Lord, how awesome are you? Jesus said, "I want peace, so I called peace. I sick peace on the noise, on all the antics that the devil will throw at you." Jesus had a word for him. He has a word for you. And so he sent peace. Go get it. You know, go take care of that for me. I've got a place. I've got something that I'm working on. I ain't got time to be distracted like Peter, like the disciples, like you and I. Have you ever told peace to be still? You see, peace knows how to take care of its portion. Yes, what it was created to do. Peace does. Now the noise that's inside of you, all that loudness, you call it emotions. I like to call it that the devil is keeping you on a high volume to keep you distracted. Oh yeah, to keep you distracted. And so there's no peace in you. You wake up on a 10. Now, it would be nice if you woke up on a 10 for the Lord, but you know that's not true. You wake up on a 10 and everything about you saying, let's get strong this morning. Let's be strong. Let's be tough. Let's be rough. And so that's where you are. Waking up every morning. It's like waking up with a headache. And you know, that's the worst thing to wake up. You've been sleeping all night. You wake up with a headache. I mean, something is already, jump on you. I mean, jump in you, trying to jump out of you because there's no peace. There's no peace. God says, "Peace, to be still." Speak to peace. Yeah, no, don't speak to noise. Don't speak to all that energy and effort. Don't speak to all that distraction. Don't speak to those foolish people. No, no, no. Quit cussing and fussing at them. Speak to the peace within you. Peace. Be still. Speak to where you can hear a pin drop on the carpet. To everyone around you understands that when you walk in the room, here comes peace. Here comes pleasantry. Here comes a quiet, still voice that has so much purpose and meaning. It's like that old commercial when about E.F. Hutton, when he speaks, everyone listens. That's the way it should be with you. Yeah, I know. This world is so much geared on noise, and you bought into it. And so that's why you're trying to outspeak the other person. You're trying to outshout the other person because all you know is noise. But God knows peace. Be still. Why do you think God told the disciples in the wilderness when he was having mega fest? There were 5,000 people. In one instance, 4,000 in another. And he told them to sit down on the ground. Why do you think he told them to sit down? Because they had been up shouting, if you will, at Megafest, shouting and praising Jesus and listening to his word. I mean, they had been receiving, they were slain in the word. And so they was anxious and now they're physically hungry. They're spiritually full, but they're physically hungry. And so Jesus tells them, sit them down, because we've got a few loaves of bread and a few fish, and so I'm going to feed them. And he tells them to sit down because he's calling peace into the atmosphere. That's what he's doing. He said, peace, yes. Sit down so you can have some peace. So you can still be in a worship mode now. Because if Jesus didn't call peace into that moment and organize them in that moment, let's be for real. With those little few fish and few loaves of bread, those men would be killing each other, trying to get to the crumbs, if you will, to feed their families. The Lord said, peace, be still. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're needing. You know, you go into a club at night and you hear all the noise and all the girls dancing and flashing, and all the men looking and drinking and wondering who they're going to take home at night because they're inside that place because there's no peace inside of them. You go into clubs looking for activity, looking for excitement, looking for like someone to jump you off like a jumper cable on a car. You're looking for someone to really get your impulses up. You're looking for someone to, yeah, to take away all your, look at this, all of your exhaustion. You're looking for someone to take away how exhausted you are. Do you realize when you go into a club, you're normally tired? That's what tired people do. That's what frustrated people do. That's what people do when they're desperate. They go looking for activity. They go looking for a man. They go looking for a woman. And you say, well, Donnie, no, I'm just going to unwind. You are with your tired self. Because everything around you has been so loud. And then you go into another place that's even louder. And you're already exhausted. And now you're about to get ready to get exhausted. Well, you can have a good time. You're going to get your drink on. But there's no peace in that place. But you're going for peace in some sense. You're going to find something so that you feel will bring peace to you. And you're taking a loud, a whole loud mindset, a noisy mindset into a noisier place. Looking for peace. You see how distracted we are? You can't find peace there. You're going to find exactly what you're looking for there. Something to satisfy your flesh. Whether it's just through your eye gate, or you might physically meet someone and go to bed that night. You just might get lucky, as they say. But that's not luck. No. That's a mess on your hands. Because that's not what you really need. That's what your flesh wants. But what you really need is peace. You need to be still. And it's hard. To live in this environment, it is hard to be still. It is hard to be in a quiet place, to relax and to enjoy yourself with the Lord. I mean, just to have some tranquility, just to lay the table out and to understand that this is the day that I worship. You see, every day should be a day that you worship. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, have you ever given yourself permission to be still? Have you ever told peace to still you? Yeah, to bless you to be still, to be quiet, to listen to the heartbeat of God. To stop listening to your heartbeat, which is just raging. Have you ever told peace, given peace permission to quiet you, to shut you down? Yes. I love your personality. It's bubbly, it's friendly, it's motivating, it's encouraging, it's inviting. But that type of personality will burn you out over time. And I'm trying to share with you how you need to have a resting place. You need to have a place where you can unwind. You need to have a closet that you can go into and you can lay before the Lord and you can truly hear his heartbeat. You need some rules in your house that when you walk in, it's your safe haven. And that the whole house gets on one accord to respect you in kind of a worship state, if you will, to where it's not so much bowing, but it's allowing you to come into your own space, your own little kingdom, your own palace, your own castle. And you're able to take a load off, if you will. You're able to relax because the whole house is matching your cadence. It's on the same rhythm that you're on. And it knows out of respect that you need to unwind. Most of us have never set our house up or set it in order. You remember when the Lord told the prophet Isaiah to go tell Hezekiah, the king Hezekiah, to set your house in order. Because basically you're a dead man walking. And Hezekiah, from what all we know, is he started setting the house in order, and then he remembered, well, Lord, hold up, let me just make this plea with you. or this plea to you, but no one praises you like I do. No one. No one praises you like I do. And we're told that the Lord told Isaiah, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, hold up. He has a good point. So go back and tell him I'm giving him 15 more years. I'm going to add some more time on to him because he has a good point. Are you putting yourself in a place to where you worship or you praise or you pray or you seek God? Or are you in a position to share with God what he'd be missing if you were no longer here? I mean, what do you have to offer? That's what I'm asking. What do you have to if you wanted to bargain, we like to negotiate. So what do you have to put before God to say, God, if you take me out, you won't get this, not like at this level, God. No one praises you like I do. No one worships you like I do. No one gives peace permission to lay before you like I do. Are you able to speak to God like that? Are you able to share your credentials, your resume, if you will, with God? And God can look at it and God can say, you know what, you have a good point. Let me tell the prophets to speak to you. Let me send my angels to inform you. Let me just heal you in this season. Let me just give you 20 more extended years. I mean, favor. I just feel this is a season where peace is really needed. With everything that's going on, and you see it, I mean, we just like to ignore most of it because it's just so much. But this world is in total chaos. I mean, the people are just on a whole different level. I can't even explain it anymore. It's just too much. It's well, we talk about my cup runneth over. Well, guess what? Immorality, fornication, lust, lasciviousness, you name everything the Bible talked about. It's here. It's come in like a wave comes in off of the ocean shore. It's arrived, and it's with full force. And we're just living within it and trying our best to live around it, between it, underneath it, above it, to the point most of you decide just to participate. I'm telling you, that's the place you don't want to be. You don't want to be so exhausted that you start giving in to the elements, to the environment. What you need to do is find your prayer closet and wedge yourself in there tightly and seek the Lord, as we're told, while he may be found. Because it's important to have some peace within so that you can show your family the peace without. You can design, you can organize, you can put in place, you can mentor, you can build your house. If no other place, you can build your house to be a safe haven for you and your family. Fathers, it's important to raise your sons with a peaceful nature. It's important to instill in them how to have a place where they can rest and where everyone around them rests with them. It's important, wives, women, daughters, that you don't run ahead of yourself, thinking that your mouth is the only tool you have to get your point across. Your humility works better for you in this environment. But you're being so distracted, you're thinking that you have to up-point everyone, every other woman, every other man. You think you have to out-talk, yes, out-speak. You think you have to out-pray, out-praise, out-preach everyone around you. And God is looking for someone who just will simply be humble, meek, modest, Someone who resembles his son, Jesus Christ. That's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If you look at Jesus throughout the Word of God, throughout the Holy Bible, all you see is peace. All you see is the embodiment of Jesus moving through this earthly realm with humility, modesty. And if you don't resemble him at any time of your life, you need to do it now. If you're listening to my voice right now, this is a time you start resembling your Savior. There's so many people who are gone and never once thought about walking in the image and the likeness of Jesus. Not only were we created in that image and likeness, but Jesus came in that image and likeness to share with us that we could walk and we could, yes, live on this earth with all the things that's happening around us. All the things, crazy stuff, and how we don't have to be a part of it. No. It's not about going out and judging anyone. It's about simply just resting in the Lord. It's about worshiping him every moment you get. If you worship God all day long, and I mean you're working, you're moving, you're doing things you should be doing, but you have a spirit of worship. You see worship in everything. You have a spirit of peace. You have a spirit of a quiet place within you. You know how awesome you and your family would be? And you're making things happen though. But when you walk in the room, the whole room quiets down because royalty has just walked in. You show me one place right now, you show me one person right now that when they walk in, everyone quiets down. No one does. The room is a ruckus and it stays a ruckus until someone gets on a microphone or a megaphone and say, could you please, one moment please. They have to ask. No one is giving. You have to ask the room to quiet down because no one is giving peace permission to arrest the wind, to arrest the storms inside of you. I pray this day. Don't take this lightly. Don't take this lightly at all. Man, be like my Father. Have a standard for your home. And when you walk in, well, hold up. Before you even get there, everything is in order. No one's rushing around trying to clean up. No. That's not the type of order you want. You want the order that respects you, that everything gets cleaned up during the course of the day. That when you turn the doorknob, the only thing that's left for that house to do is to simply go into a worship mode when you walk in. To simply understand that daddy's home. And when daddy's home, the house takes on a different personality. Because guess what? It's daddy's house. Let no one fool you. That's the kind of house you want to be in. You want to be in daddy's house. That's what we're all praying for. To get to the kingdom, you know that's daddy's house, right? We're all praying that when Jesus made the statement, I go to prepare a place for you, we're preparing to meet him, to be in daddy's house. And so if you want to be in daddy's house, you've got to be prepared. So I pray this day, you prepare you and your house and everyone in it to be ready for when daddy returns. You be blessed and have a great week. Keep your meekness and your humbleness about yourself. Let no one steal your joy of being a worshiper.